This meeting is being recorded.
Wow, that was a new voice. All right. Well, happy June 20th. Every time I say this, but like, what is happening? That it's almost July. Um, I'm excited about tonight, but first I kind of want to go over there's a lot happening in Beachbody right now, and I myself am struggling to keep up. And if I'm struggling to keep up, I know that most of you probably are as well. So I wanted to go over really quick some of the big, I closed that tab. Of course I closed that tab. Some of the bigger things that are going on at the end of this month so that everybody knows how to leverage them. I'm going to share my screen because I want to make sure everybody knows how to find these things. So sign into your coach office. And Beachbody now does some monthly calendars, which is helpful, except I was actually messaging them earlier because they need just like one graphic with all of the things on it, and they usually do, and I just could not find it today. Excuse me. So if you go into your coach office and it eventually opens, you're going to scroll down, and here under coach breaking news, this part is really helpful to kind of get a glimpse of everything that's going on right now. So monthly calendar, June 2022, we're going to click on that. And you can see all the things that are happening. Now, unfortunately, well, not necessarily unfortunately, but they plugged in body events in here too. So it looks like a lot. So if you can just take some time to kind of look over this a little bit. Oh my gosh, what is happening? My computer is never this slow. I'm not sure what happened. The few things that I wanted to make sure that you guys know about is anyone who purchases a challenge pack or has their first sale of a challenge pack this month is getting half off of Lift More, which is Joel's new program coming out next month based off of Lift 4. I have no idea what's happening. This is ridiculous. So that's something I could easily show you if the calendar will pull up. I'm not even going to share my screen. This is pointless. So that was one of them. And then so we all have promo codes, right? Everybody has $20 off promo codes for this month. And then there's a new bonus promotion they're doing for the month of June. Did you guys see that? So if you sign up, if you have one more Success Club point than you did last month, which last month was a really low month for the team in general. So everyone has a good chance of achieving that this month, then they will give you a bonus. Oh my gosh, $25, $20, $25 bonus. And then if you help 3 of your coaches get that bonus, then you get a $100 bonus. So that is really fun and exciting, and just another way to make money and be fun about it. And it really does come down to, and we're going to talk about this tonight in the invite process, but your mindset. Is your mindset just to get the $20 bonus, or is your mindset to serve someone with your $20 off promo code? And when you can really take some time to not convince yourself like in an authentic way, but really make it make sense to you, like, holy smokes, it is so inexpensive for people. The total solution that we actually do offer and what they get with it is so inexpensive compared to what's out there and compared to the cost of disease from being sedentary and eating crap food and not having nourishment in your body, and the price that you pay in so many different ways, that we should be shouting it from the mountaintops with conviction and confidence. And when we do that, we become a magnet. Like we're so attractive to people because we are so confident and excited about what we have to offer, and the fact that we've been given promo codes on something that's already significantly discounted. As far as price points go, I really love that finally Beachbody got onto the marketing side of things, and now all Total Solution Packs has the breakdown of what it would cost if you bought everything individually. I used to make those on my own, and it was so time consuming. And so you can genuinely tell people, like, if you bought Beachbody On Demand for $100 or 120, it's going to go up, and Shakeology for 130, and the containers and the the nutrition programs, all of them together, it would end up being hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But you're getting it this month for 139 one time. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. There's literally no risk. At the end of the 30 days, you drink all your Shakeology, you're not impressed by your results, you get a full refund. That is unheard of. And if you can share that in your stories, if you can do a video and share that so that people really get it and they hear and see and feel your confidence, it will go a long ways. And if you know it in your heart of hearts, like, genuinely, this is so affordable, especially with inflation, like, our prices are going down as the world is going up, like, this is incredible. And if you can share that, no matter what people's response, even if people think that you're trying to sell something or whatever, that you're not. Where your heart is, the power in this, and so it doesn't matter when people tell you, like, oh my gosh, you're a gorilla. What would you take that to heart and be like, that is very insulting to me? I don't think I can ever show my face on social media again because this person just told me that I was a gorilla. Like, that is so rude. And I'm going to go cry in my room because maybe I didn't moisturize well enough or I need to shave. And so that's why this person thinks that I'm a gorilla. Obviously, we don't do that. But why do we do that when people accuse us of being things that we aren't? And we all know that at some point it has stopped us. It has stopped us from living our true self and speaking, being like joyful in what we're doing because we're listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. So next time you have any kind of fear, I want you to remember that you're not a gorilla and charge forward. Okay, so that was just kind of a kickstart into, I want to talk more about what's going on, but that's really it. Is we have the Secret Society Success Club, is such a mouthful. Secret Society Success Club event qualification still happening, and we have that promotion of the $20, $100 bonus. And then you still have, a lot of you are still in that qualification period for achieving success starters, which is hitting Success Club for 3 months. Within your first 6 months, you get a free ticket to Summit, but you also get a free spot in the next test group. And that is really, really cool. So yeah, any questions about all of that stuff? I just jumbled out there. Okay. All right, let us dive in to the topic at hand. Nobody's here because everybody hates inviting. Just kidding. Not nobody's here. That sounded very insulting. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And I'm excited this is a small group so that we can talk through some stuff. I will share these notes with you. It's actually a training that I created, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, on the 6 steps to master inviting. And the important part, and some of this I'm going to breeze through because this month is the whole process. So week 1 of this month, we talked about the attraction element and marketing. That has to happen. You have to be putting yourself out there consistently so people build trust with you, so people know that they should come to you for solutions in health and wellness. The marketing part, the attraction piece, when you do that, it's so much easier to connect with people. You're connecting with them based off common interests, based off of their interest in what you're doing, based on their interests. You're learning, literally making friends. And then once you do that consistently, it's so much easier to invite people to be a part of what you're doing because they're interested in you and they're interested in what you're doing. I will repeat this so many times, but it's so much harder to invite people to what you're doing if they don't know what you're doing, because you're not ever talking about it. And if they don't know you, because you don't ever connect with them. And so all of us, everyone comes into coaching on our team because everyone has an awesome heart. And everyone says, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to just sell products. I don't want to bug my friends and family. Everyone says that. I said that because it's true. We don't want to. And so don't. That's not what we're about, right? It's a genuine invitation to do something, to try something that could change their life, both in the health and wellness, like the healthy habits element, and in the coaching side. Because in the coaching side is where you really dive into more of the community. We don't have team calls for customers. This is for coaches. You really develop deeper friendships. You have a stronger sense of accountability, and you learn how you could build a business that could be, really powerful for your entire family and your future. So, okay, let me share my screen again and see if this works this time. Okay, so the 6 steps to master inviting. Step number 1 is to check your mindset. I will encourage you guys, again, when I post the recording, I'll post this. It's a PDF so that you can, I think it's in our team page, but I'll post it again so you can print it out, because I recommend you asking yourself these questions often, and especially if you ever find yourself in a slump or struggling with belief. Do you believe what you're inviting to works? Now, that may sound like a very obvious question, but I will tell you, I know a lot of people on and off our team who struggle with inviting. They've gotten an amazing transformation, but for whatever reason, they're not connecting what has tremendously benefited their life and sending an invite to what has tremendously improved their life. There can be an easy, for some, especially over time, there could be a disconnect of, this has changed my life forever. And instead of like telling everyone, this has changed my life forever, do it with me, it's like, oh, but I don't want to offend them. Or, but what if they don't have enough money? Or, but what if they think I'm just trying to sell them on something? Like, why do we do that? We don't do that with other things. Like, this multi-green kombucha is amazing, and there's blue algae in it, and people don't even know what that is. Like, that's so good for you. This is incredible. And it's like $4.50 now at the grocery store, which is absolutely ridiculous, but I'm still going to tell people about it. I'm not going to worry that they're going to be offended or think I'm trying to sell them something, because why? I'm trying to teach them the benefits of this, and I think it could really help them. Think about things like that in your life that you just tell people about, or you promote other people's businesses because they're really awesome. They're awesome people, or they have an awesome product, or a massage therapist, or a restaurant that you absolutely love that's made an impact for you. We share these things because we know that they work. And so if you're in a place in your business where you're unsure if it works, that is amazing clarity that you need to dive into before you spend a lot of time growing until learning how to grow your business. Because if you don't believe that this works, and you really haven't experienced it benefit you in any way, whether that's in the mindset or the exercises or the nutrition programs or the supplements, if you don't have something that's like, man, this is really different, this is really unique, then that's where you need to go first, and really dive in and give it 100% for like 30 days and see if you do believe in it, see if you do feel a difference, because then everything follows after that. And that's why that part is the most important. And in our new Coach University, Brooke does an amazing video in day 1 on that, on being a coach of yourself first, and how when you do that, everything naturally just should follow after that. And usually when people are struggling in coaching, not all the time, but usually it's because that part isn't there. The being a coach of yourself first isn't there. You've never really committed to a nutrition plan. You're like following 2B mindset for breakfast, and then portion fix for dinner, and not writing anything down. And you're not really drinking your Shakeology, but kind of, and then you do like 10 minutes of the workouts and it's like, I mean, I feel okay, but because you're not actually doing it. Okay. Do you believe our approach is unique? This is something I love asking these questions because if you can, like, all of these questions could be a different marketing thing for you, where you ask yourself, do I believe our approach is unique? And write down the ways that you feel it's unique and then share it with people. Do a quick reel or do a quick video or talk about it in your stories. Because if you're convinced, if you understand it and you see it, then you have an obligation, in my opinion, you have a responsibility to share that with other people. We are essentially educators because people don't understand that there's depth to Beachbody. They think it's like, I am Beachbody, right? Okay, if people do this, how could their life benefit? If someone is successful in coaching, how could their life be impacted? I think that's something we don't think about very often. You all know how I feel about that question. Do you believe this is insanely affordable, or do you have hesitations because you think it's kind of expensive? We have, maybe I'll do that call again next month, is the comparison of what people are paying for, and that's before inflation, but what people are paying for all the different areas that we provide value in. How will this impact busy, exhausted, overweight, stressed out people? If they can learn how to do a quick 20 or 30-minute workout a day, if they can learn how to have positivity in their brain and do an audiobook instead of CNN or like all the other garbage that's out there, how is that going to impact their life? If they can start drinking Shakeology versus the caramel mocha frappuccinos every day, and if they can get off of constant energy drinks, if they can feel like a sense of peace and calming and energy and joy in their life, if they're not feeling that, how's that going to impact their marriage? How's that going to impact them as a parent? Do you believe asking someone to buy a challenge pack from you is selfish of you to ask or serving to the individual? And I like this question too, because I think especially in the beginning, we get really self-conscious of, well, I just don't want them to think that I'm trying to sell something to them. I know this is amazing, but I hate that it costs money. But I want to build a business, but I don't really want anyone to have to pay for it. Like, that is so silly, right? Like, no one can build a business. No one does anything if money is not involved, right? And I struggle with that in real estate. I'll be honest with you, because I'm in the beginning, and it's like, well, do I just lower my commission? And my mom's like, girlfriend, no. Like, she doesn't do that, but basically. And she's like, and Alina's like, no, you have to value yourself, and she sees the world and she's more in experience and in it, has been in it years longer than I have. And it's just part of the new growth, is seeing value in yourself and seeing value in the tools you have to offer, and being really confident in that it really, you deserve that and so much more, because you're not actually getting paid to be a coach. Let me be honest. I got paid to be a coach when I got my certification to be a holistic health coach. And then I charged for my time, and I charged, $100 for a session, and they got nothing other than my time. I would send them some recommendations, but they're not getting supplements from that. They're not getting workout programs. They're not getting a meal plan. They're getting my time and my recommendations. You are getting paid as sometimes I feel like the word coach does a disadvantage to us, because it gets in a lot of people's heads of, but I don't know anything. But really, you're an advocate for people. You're the middle ground. You have all of these tools, and then you have all of the population and all of their needs, and you're an advocate. You're the middle person that's matching the professionals who did get all the degrees and the doctorates. You're matching their programs to the individual that really needs it, that will never be able to afford a meeting with Alana or Autumn or Joel, or, they'll never be able, ever in their wildest dreams, be able to afford them. And you're getting to bring the two together. That's what you're doing. And so we spend so much time, I'm talking about inviting, but we're spending the bulk of our time talking about this because it's the most important, because you all know how to talk to people. Like, I don't need to tell you what to say when you love something and you know it could change someone's life. You're going to tell them, like, this will change your life. You have to try this. It's not going to be like, so, hi girl, your dogs are so cute. And I'm doing this thing and I was wondering if you wanted to like this is how I picture it in our heads. What happens when we go to send an invite? We get so weird and we don't know what to do with our hands. And it's like, just send them a message. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. But that's how I feel. Like, just send them a message. If you believe in this stuff and you've experienced, just say, do this. You have to do this. This is going to change your life. And if it doesn't, you get your money back. So why would you not? That's how I did it with coaching in the beginning. I was like, Mom, you're signing up as a coach because you get a discount. Why would you not? Sister-in-law, give me your social security number. Why would you not? And I had so much conviction that they all did it. You could try that. I don't know. People give you their social security number now. Maybe if they trust you enough. Okay. So number 1, check your mindset. Number 2, social media presence power. Now, we talked about this mostly in the attraction week about marketing. So here's some questions here that you can review, but it's basically, do people know what you're doing? Do they know who you are? Do they know why you're doing this? Do they know why you've struggled in the past? Do they know why you started? Do they know where you're going and how this is helping you get there? Because we all have a story. We all have huge struggles that we've overcome that are unique to us. And they're unique to us, meaning that we have a unique group of people that we can connect with in their struggles. I wasn't able to relate with people who had gone through the gut-wrenching pain of going through a divorce until I went through one. And then I went through one. And then I had so many people reach out to me and be like, my husband just left me and I have no idea what I'm going to do. Or, and I'm sure that's happened to you guys in so many different areas of your life. If you have shared any kind of testimony that you have been through, that people get so much hope from you going first and saying, like, okay, we can do this. God's going to give me the strength, sometimes minute by minute. And I have no idea how I'm going to do it. And I have no idea when it's going to happen or how it's going to turn out, but I know I can move forward. And that's what we're doing as coaches, is we're moving forward in all of our mess and we're being honest about it. And that is what builds trust with people. That is the power of social media. Remember always to go there, never to consume, but always to be a light and to give, not to absorb. You want to give to other people. Okay, now the invites. Now I have a couple here and I almost deleted them all because at the end of the day, it really should just be about you're connecting with people. If anyone shows any kind of interest in what you're doing, because you are showing up in your workouts and you're showing up in you're teaching as you're learning. That's one of the best tips I could give you, is to teach things as you learn them. So if you learn something in your personal development that really stuck with you and helped you pull your mind out of a funk, share it, teach it with somebody else, give that to somebody else. If you learned a new recipe, if you've been struggling with impulse eating and you learned through Lana's book something that really helped you, share it with somebody. If you learned a new move in your workouts, if you, whatever it was, if you reflect back that, man, I used to really get down on myself because I paid $130 a month for my gym membership and I never went because I could never find the time. And I'm so thankful I can do that now in my living room, or whatever it is. Learn to tell your story through story. Share your products and your programs and your tools through stories, and that's how people relate to you. As people relate to you, all you have to do is reach out to them and say, thank you so much for noticing. You want to do this with me. And I learned that recently. I heard that invite from Trina Gray. I mentioned it on our last call. but it really, I like that so much better even than what I wrote on here. I'll be totally honest. Because even what I wrote on here is, to me, sounds, it's too wordy, which you probably all know I'm super wordy and I need to not be so wordy. And so I personally love that one sentence. Thank you for noticing, to the people who notice. Do you want to do this with me? And then you take the conversation from there. And then they're going to ask you some questions like, I don't know, maybe what are you doing? And then people get really weird again with their hands in their head. And and this is all you have to say, especially if you're in the beginning. Like, honestly, I could tell you a whole spiel, but and then just tell your story. I was really struggling with this. I found this package option where I get to do everything in one place. It's super affordable compared to what else other things I was looking into, and it's changed my life. I could set you up with the same way that I got started if you want.
I loved the way you made it short like that, with just like join, or I think I said thanks for noticing, you should join me in one of, right after we talked last time, because I was like, that's so much simpler. And even though she didn't reach out to me, I know I planted that seed, and so I feel like that was a great way for me to start saying it, and so I'm gonna keep using that.
I love it. I'm changing it right now. I'm changing the document. Because also things have, like I wrote this, was actually 2 years ago, and things have changed in 2 years. Things have changed. People have changed. Attention spans have changed. They don't want to read paragraphs anymore. And I used to send those. I would also say I love sending voice memos because they share your heart and your enthusiasm. But only send them if you're in the right headspace. Don't ever send invites if you're stressed out or you're going to pull your hair out because your kids have been crazy. It's never a good idea, because please assume that people will always feel your energy. Whether or not you think they will, assume that they will, and then always be in that good headspace. Okay. I mean, this is still cheeseball too. What was I thinking? I literally just told my mom, this is what I'm doing. I sent her a picture of Liz's before and after. And this system still works. Send a picture of before and after from the program that you're wanting to do. And then say, I'm doing this. I want you to do this with me. And depending on the person, a lot of times, if you're very close to them, they'll usually say, okay. And then you could say, and I'm signing you up with a coach membership because you get a discount. And then you're really going to love it. So you'll have referral links that you could refer people. And don't forget that too about your coach membership. I get companies reach out to me all the time to have an affiliate link for their fill in the blank, whether it's their workout clothes or their Patriot brand of clothing or a concealed carries, whatever, or vitamins. And if it's something I believe in and something I approve of and I would use myself, then I love all of those affiliate links. Or like the red aspen nails or things that you actually use, you have affiliate links. Well, with Beachbody, we have affiliate links too. I don't like them as much, but we do have them. I don't like them as much because if I sent it to someone who's already had a Beachbody account with the email that they're using to log in, it'll go to their other person and not to me. However, an easy way to remedy that is, hey, here's my affiliate link. Let me know when everything goes through, and I will, make sure and get you plugged into our team page, or make sure and get you send you a welcome email, and then you can check. This is just like a side note in case this happens to anyone and you didn't know this. Let's say that happened and someone said, yeah, I ordered, and you don't see it anywhere. Then you can contact Coach Relations via live chat. I always recommend live chat because there's always a documentation of your conversation versus on the phone, there's not a documentation of your conversation. So if you say, hey, so-and-so, my friend just ordered this through me. Here's their email. It's not showing up in my coach office. Would you mind looking into it? and they could say, oh yeah, it shows that this person's under a different coach. And you could say, okay, well, they were supposed to be under me. They didn't know they had an account in the past, or they ever had a coach, which happens all the time. And then they'll send you the link. You could find this too via a simple Google search, but they'll send you the link for your customer to change coaches. And as long as they do that within, I actually have to check the policy and procedure because it's changed a couple of times, but I'm pretty sure if they do that within, it's either 15 or 30 days, then you'll get all of your commission and the credit from that order. Does that make sense?
That actually just happened to me over the weekend.
Did it? Yeah. Shoot.
But I fixed it. It's all good. Yeah. A girl from high school was like, reached out to me and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, like challenge pack, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, great. And so when I put in her info to share a cart, it was like, oh, she has an account already. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I even asked her, so I'm looking at my coach office and I'm all, where is she? She told me she signed up. Like I added her to our text thread and everything. And then I'm looking and it says like underneath, she signed up with a different coach.
Oh no.
And I was like, shoot. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, like, this is what it says. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She goes, I even clicked the box saying that I wanted you to be my coach. And I sent her the form and it was like literally within like 2 hours, she had switched over. And then within the day, like my Success Club points showed up too.
Perfect.
So super easy.
Yeah.
If it happens to anybody.
It really is. And sometimes like that, there's glitches with everything. Oh my gosh. I've probably experienced every Beachbody glitch you could have. No, trust me. But that's awesome. I'm glad you shared that. There are times too, like let's say your Aunt Glennis signed up and Aunt Glennis is not great with computers. You can ask for their login and you can do it for them as well. You can complete the form for them. You just need their login. And I've done that for people too. Okay, so we talked about literally how easy the invite itself is. And I will tell you, especially in the beginning, it is literally the life to your business. And so a lot of people get very frustrated in the beginning of their business and they say like, I haven't done anything. My business hasn't grown. I've been posting or I've been sharing what I'm doing, but no one's reached out to me. And I want to be very clear on this because I don't want anyone to get disillusioned or discouraged. The odds of people reaching out to you and you growing a thriving business are actually pretty low. It will happen from time to time if you're consistent, but with me, and I have posted consistently for 6.5 years with the top coaches even, we all still have to reach out to other people. And if you think of it as a party invitation, then it starts to make sense. If I'm posting every day for months about this epic party that I'm throwing and I'm posting all the details and I'm constantly posting the build up to it and I'm talking about how amazing it's going to be, people are not going to reach out to me most likely and say like, I want to come to your party. Like that looks like so much fun. People are going to wait for me to invite them to be a part of what I'm doing. And the same mentality goes towards what we're doing in our team and in our community. A lot of people don't know they could be a part of it. Case in point, I've had people tell me, I run into them at TJ Maxx back when I lived in Sonora. Like, you just inspire me so much that last month I went on the Beachbody website and I signed up as a coach. Yeah. And I'm like, no, yay. Welcome to the family. I wish I would have known. Like, I would have loved to work with you. And that was my fault. That was my fault for not making sure that every single person who ever sees anything from me in relation to my wellness, health and wellness, knows that they could be a part of it too. They could be a part of the coach mentorship process. They could be a part of our community. They could be part of our team calls if they want. They could be part of our early morning workouts they've been slacking in. They could be part of any of it. But I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be intimidated Maddie just had a really, like, I heard cry, so it's tuning in. So just remember that and know I've had one person in 6 years, 2 people. One was a total stranger. The other person I knew. In 6.5 years, and all the messages that I've ever sent, one person got offended and said, I can't even remember what my message said. It was earlier on in my coaching journey, but it was something along the lines of, I think I was inviting like moms to get healthy and fit with me. And she was like, I'm offended that you are messaging moms and telling them that they shouldn't be content in their own body or something like that. And she didn't know me or my background at all. And you call yourself a coach, but you have no background. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, actually, do I even want to have this conversation? I have this like incessant need to be heard. So I did have a conversation. And the other person, I had asked if they wanted to be part of the upcoming group or whatever. And they said, no, thank you. I said, okay, no problem. Do you want me to follow up with you in the future and let you know if like any promotions or sales come up? And they said, no, thank you. And I was like, okay, no problem. And that was it. Like, I didn't die. My house didn't burn down. No one threatened to kill me. So like people make inviting very scary, but at the end of the day, like the worst thing that's going to happen is someone is going to be weird and you never want to work with them anyways. And so you just check them off the list, right? It really is the blood to your business because it's you going forward and saying, I believe in what I'm doing and I believe this could benefit you, and you're welcoming them in and you're saying like, please be part of this with me. I really think that you love it. And if you don't, that's okay too. And then you just do that to a lot of people and it shows that you care. And I've had way more people say, thank you so much for taking the time to even think about messaging me, you know, and that will happen way more than you think. The only way to get past the fear is to actually do it. There's an amazing book called Go for No that I highly recommend. If this is something that you do struggle with, it's awesome. And it really is about, instead of looking for people who are going to say yes for you, your goal becomes looking for 100 people who are going to say no to you. And in doing that, you find so many people who are going to be blessed by your business. Okay. These are some sample invites to coaching that you can go over. Do you want to go over coach invites at all real quick? Or do you want to just read through? We have like 10 minutes left. Basically, in a nutshell, you guys probably know that inviting to the business is really what's, from a compensation standpoint, is what is going to leaps and bounds improve your, like increase your business. It's going to increase your residual income. It's what makes you set up to work less and make more money, both in financially and in your impact, because you can work your butt off trying to sell a bunch of total solution packs and trying to help 1,000 people on your own, or you can lay down your pride a little bit. This is myself. This was my own struggle, if I'm being honest, and teach people how to help more people. And then together as a team, you help more people. Together, we help way more people. You guys have people in your life I will never, ever be able to reach. And together, we get to learn how to all have a piece of the pie and have way more fun doing it. And there's a huge blessing in that. If any of you have ever helped someone like even earn their first $50, it's very rewarding, especially nowadays when we have food shortages coming up and we have, so much uncertainty. This is a very certain thing that it's a supply and demand. People need this in their lives, and we get to be in a job that provides it. Okay, so here's a couple tools of what to do when they say no. And this literally will walk you through what to say when they say yes too. But when people say no, here's a sample response. Okay, no problem. Thanks for your support. Just in case you're a taco lover like me, I wanted to share this awesome resource I found with 10 healthy taco recipes. Let me know if you end up trying one. Have an amazing day. And this is from the Beachbody blog. And so have a resource from our blog that is really helpful for you. That could be a free workout. There's links to that on Vimeo. Something that resonates with you, though, I would say, whether it's this one or something else, and send them value anyways. And it feels so good. You still feel so accomplished to be able to serve people, even when they don't want anything from you. That's okay. Serve them anyways. Here's an example of what to say when they want more information. I put 2 versions here because it's going to change as you get more experience under your belt. Where did I just go? Here it is. Okay, so as a newer coach, usually your goal is to just get people set up how you did. You don't necessarily need to know everything that Beachbody has to offer. Just what are you doing? And it's kind of the invite that we talked about, right? Like, thanks for noticing, want to do this with me? I don't really know what I'm talking about, but this is how I started. Want me to set you up that way? Cool. Are you allergic to dairy? Like, you kind of need to know that with the flavors of Shakeology, and then maybe ask them. You could tell them. So like, my goal is, to lose 20 pounds in the next couple months and to improve my digestion and my energy. What about you? What are you looking to do in the next couple months? And that's just a simple, relatable, I'm going first. I'm humble. I'm not saying that I know everything. If that is where you're coming from, and you can just tell them, like, and ask them, and it's going to make people feel so listened to, and like they can relate to you, and excited that they're doing this with someone, and not necessarily being told what to do by someone who's way farther ahead in their journey than they are. There is a difference, and I've said this before to people, but you're only a new coach one time. And when you've been doing it for a while, a couple things happen. If you become really successful, people think that you're unrelatable. And when you've been doing it for a long time and you have been stagnant, then that gets in people, and not in necessarily in other people's heads, but that gets in the coach's head a lot, is what I do see. Not that it has to happen that way by any means, but I do see that happen. And there is a magical time of being a new coach and not knowing everything, and being able to say, I don't know everything, but this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. You should totally do it with me. Some of this verbiage actually needs to change because our stuff has changed. And I don't like how long this is, but so this will probably be erased, so don't read it. And then after your first 3 signups, like, there's different approaches. I would encourage you as a business owner to know the approach that's going to work best for you. So for me, and I think it's just because of my background, I really love having the Google form, and it's worked great for other people. I love sending them a form and saying, fill this out. I'll build my custom recommendation for you based on what you share with me on your form. And it's like I have over 300 people who filled that out over the past handful of years. And there's no going back and forth. It's very simple. Now, I've had other people, including Liz, tried that, and she did not like it, and it did not work for her, and it has not worked for some other people. And I don't necessarily know why that is, but have some sort of question process where you're getting to know the people so you can make a good recommendation for them. And that's basically what this is telling them, like, I'm so excited about this for you. A chicken died, so I didn't get to go through these before talking to you guys, but I will go through them before I share them. And then if people are interested in learning more about coaching, we do have a couple resources that you guys on here I don't think have ever seen. Brooke may have. This is a video right here. I wonder if we can open it right now, that Liz made for our entire organization. It's about coaching. She made it at our leadership retreat. This was September. Yeah, it's still here. So this is like what is Beachbody coaching really is what it's titled, and it's a 9-minute video. And she went through and interviewed a bunch of us, and it's really professionally done. She had hired a professional videographer.
I was a very broken person when I started. I really drastically kind of needed a life overhaul.
These are all my good friends from Liz's team. So they're like my sideline. But having a video like that, and I've done a couple that you could share too, but when people are interested in coaching, it is helpful to have a link to send them of some sort. Okay. And then in the last two, it literally is just about tracking. And next week, we're going to talk more about that and following up with people. I've lost so many people from not tracking who I'm talking to, like who I'm having an actual conversation with. In the beginning, no one ever really told me to track anything. Like I should have known, but I didn't. And my life was absolute insanity. And so the way that I followed up with people is I would type Shakeology in my Facebook messages and see who I had talked to about it. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, I got to go follow up with that person. Like that is awful. It is so awful. Yeah, I know. The teachers in here are like, Jessica. Awful. It's awful. So have something. I don't recommend a piece of paper because you'll lose it. Well, I will lose it. So I recommend a specific designated notebook only for tracking people you're having conversations with, if you're pen and paper, or you could do an Excel spreadsheet, whatever works for you, but have a way where you're writing people down. This is the last tip that I will have. There was a time in my business, I mean, not long ago, before we moved, when there was a long time in my business where I hit Success Club significantly higher than I do now. And my average was between like 20 and I think my biggest month was 52. And that was a very busy month. But I always could correlate, because you know how you get 2 Success Club points per person. So if my goal was to hit Success Club 20, I knew I had to be talking to at least 20 people, if not double that, like 40 people I had to be in conversation with to realistically make that happen. And that's where, I'll be honest, where I've fallen short lately has been making the time for those conversations and tracking them. And there's something magical in your brain that happens when you have a notebook where I used to leave a paragraph space for each person. I'd write their name and their email and their phone number, and then some just like highlights about them, like what their goals are and what I was setting them up with. And if I send a share cart, then I'd put that. I would always put the date next to the last time I followed up with them. And then when they signed up, I would highlight them. I would highlight coaches a color, preferred customers a different color, and customers a different color, so that I could track and see who had signed up how. And then, then sometimes that next month I would rewrite that list with whoever was remaining, or I would do that every couple months or something. That mentally is such a really helpful, beneficial thing, because if you are only having conversations with 2 or 3 people because you've only ever sent that many invites, you cannot expect yourself to have Success Club 5 or 10 if you're only talking to 2 or 3 people. It's just not realistic. And that's not something that's against you. That's just the system is broken. What you're doing is not working. It has nothing to do with you, but you're not talking to enough people. So you don't need to turn inward and say like, I can't do this, because you're not actually doing it. Does that make sense? Like, it's so easy to get caught in our head and be like, oh my gosh, I can never do this coaching thing. Like, I've talked to 3 people and they all said no. Like, that's okay, because it's 3 and you need to talk to 100 first, and then you can make that decision. So I found that to be super helpful. Okay. Excuse me. Next week, we're going to talk more about the follow-up component of this and how easy and simple it could be. Was this helpful? Is there any questions that you guys have? Cool. No say make it fun. Make it fun. Make it a game. Like give yourself a prize. Brooke, just like you do with your weight loss journey, you should have like a 100 invites. We should totally do that. And you put a sticker for every invite that you send. And at the end of every 10, you get to give yourself a prize. I think that's an amazing idea. And imagine what will happen if you do. Like, make your own clinical trial for business. What if I do invite genuinely 100 people to do what I'm doing? Like, I wonder what will happen. I don't know. I want to see. Let's try it. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but like, I don't know, maybe the next day. Just kidding. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I love you guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. So good to see your faces. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your June. I'll see you next Monday. Oh yeah, picture. Thank you, Sarah. Man, Sarah's on it. Okay.
I had a sneak one.
I'm glad. I've been forgetting. I've been having to take pictures of the recordings. It's like a fraud. Okay, I'm gonna do a boomerang. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I don't know what this one. It's like my hand was a boomerang.
It was almost as good as Madison last week when I snuck the picture.
Oh my gosh, I know. She's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. Awesome, you guys. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jess.